plot does just look like a building site at the moment. Oh, my broccoli's looking a bit sad. Oh dear. Hi folks, it's naturally JB coming to you live from the start of Storm Aisha. I don't really have much of a plan today, to be honest. I'm just here because I wanted a walk. It's Sunday, I had a little bit of time. I can't really there's two big jobs on the plot that I really want to get done. The first is, the greenhouse base, which you've seen. The greenhouse saga has started, it's official. And the other thing really is the hotbed in this polytunnel. And I've not got the car today, so I couldn't bring up any of the tools. And because of Storm Aisha, which is just starting, it's literally just starting to pick up. Oh, there's the table for the tea. It was fine on the walk here, and as soon as I got in the gate, you could just feel it picking up a little bit. And because of that, I don't want to start messing around with the greenhouse frame. Well, at the moment, it's on that timber base, which obviously is a bit ropey, but it's on the base, which means it's not going to get picked up by the storm and get thrown across the plot. So I think it makes sense just to have a little bit of patience. I know it's a greenhouse saga. I know there might be 8 more videos on it yet. I'm hoping not. But so I thought, what shall I do? Don't know. Let's just come up to the plot. And Tony was talking recently about, the value of allotments. He did one of his videos. And this is it for me. This is one of the real values of allotments. It's just like having somewhere to come up and like a reason to just go for a little walk and a little wander. And I've been at a bit of a loose end because I can't do the big jobs. So I've been thinking about all the little jobs I could do. And I knew as soon as I come up, I'd find a few bits. But first job, just to sit and enjoy the space for a little while. It's been a while since I made this little seating area in the tunnel. I've not really used it. This is one of the first times I'm probably coming in and just, it's, with the wind just starting to pick up outside. It's quite a mild day today. Coming into the tunnel is just amazing. Now, one thing is, with the greenhouse emptying, I've tried to keep the polytunnel as free as possible because, I've just put a lot of effort into making the tunnel like relatively neat and tidy, and I've done an okay job, but if I spin you around, there is a bit of chaos. So there's the auto pot trays there. We've got loads of manure that's come in, the bags of silver grey. That could probably do with a bit of tidying up, but there's lots of spent compost. But this just looks a bit chaotic. I've got a load of cardboard, and I think what I'm probably going to do is turn this little bed into a bit of a no-dig thing. Just because, look, this is an area where you won't actually have weed seed blowing in. So starting this off with a bit of cardboard and a manure mulch seems like a really good idea. And the reason I can't do the hotbed today, I did find a few bits of timber kicking about in various places that I think will make a really nice frame. But that frame is going to need a bit of cutting, a bit of jigging, a bit of, screwing together some brackets, that kind of thing to sit on top of the manure. We're getting well into January now, so I want to get this on the go. Otherwise, by the time it's producing heat, it's going to be warm outside anyway. So this is quite high on the priority list. These things creep up on you, don't they? I didn't realise it was quite so far into January. It's definitely picking up. The wind is picking up. But one of the main things I wanted to do today, when I was kind of fiddling my thumbs this morning with my morning coffee, I went on Veg Plotter. Yeah, link in the description if you've not used it. I find it really, really good, especially for planning the layout. When I was getting all these raised beds in, fantastic. You can do all that for free. And then I realised, I thought it was all for free until you wanted some of the advanced features. Actually, if you want to start putting your crops in and that kind of stuff, there's like a yearly charge. It's like 15 quid a year though. It's very cheap, and there's a discount code on top of that. But I was playing around with that a little bit this morning, and I do struggle to get all of the crops kind of planned out, and you can do it month by month. It's got loads of, detailed stuff you can go into. I like just having a broad idea, so I've been mapping out a bit of, what's going to go where. And it's got me properly excited, and I realised that my seeds are up here, and I think it's probably a really good idea for me to actually take this home today and do a proper, like an accounting exercise, just to make sure I've actually got all the varieties that I need, so that in March or May, I'm not going to suddenly get caught out and go, I've got no squash seeds, or I've got no sweet corn seeds, or anything like that. I think I've got everything, but you know what it's like. You're probably not. And on a day like today, where I can't really get stuck into anything, it's nice to have something like this to do at home. for the evening. And some of the main changes, I mean, there's nothing too drastic, but what I do think I'm going to do is move this brassica bed. This has been a brassica bed for 4 years now, and I think what I'm going to do is move this further up the plot into these are two quite wide beds. So if I can get some relatively low maintenance stuff in here, and the brassica, I do think of those as relatively low maintenance, especially if you get a nice mulch on it. They're kind of long season cropping, you know, and it doesn't really matter if you get a few weeds, whereas something like your salads or something like that, they're a bit more precious. Your carrots, you need to weed a bit more delicately. So I think these two are probably going to be netted and be the main brassica beds for next year. This is going to be the kind of mixed salad bed, and then I think what I might do is build some kind of proper pea structure this year, and I'd like some advice, because you've seen I've just made that sweet pea structure at home, hopefully anyway, and I'm really proud of it, really happy with how it went, and I'd quite like to do something not similar in terms of design, but similar in terms of, you know, like a nice heavy duty thing that's going to last years and years on the plot. I do have a load of scaffolding for it, like poles kicking about, that I was going to make a brassica cage out of, but you know, there's some big jobs that I've got to do, so am I ever going to get around to that? Who knows? But maybe I'll do something with timber. Bamboo, sort of, I feel like maybe you're lucky if you can get a year or two out of it. So I don't know, but I feel like having this as doing a proper effort on peas this year would be really nice. I always do a few kind of small dwarfing varieties because I'm always too scared to make a proper structure. And so maybe this year I could do something a bit taller. This one is definitely going to be the field beans. That was like my standout crop of the year. Oh, those Kalima, though not field beans, green beans, that's the one, French beans. They're just so good in here. I think they're going to go. And it's just got me really excited, folks. I've really got the bug. I want to go home and start a few things today as well. And then over here, I think I'm going to do similar kind of crops to what I did last year. This is probably going to stay as a potato bed. Interestingly, I was talking to a few other people on these plots actually, and a lot of people have said that they really struggle with, you know, getting kind of powdery, floury potatoes on this allotment, and I didn't realise until I started talking to people actually. It's always good if you can talk to your neighbours about this kind of stuff, because I thought it was just me, and some years my potatoes have been fine, and some years they've been absolutely horrible, you know, and I come home with a bucket full more and Jess is like, oh no, I don't want to cook these, you know, and sometimes you can just about get something edible by roasting it, but yeah, I don't know. So there's maybe something going on. I think a lot of people say it's about water retention or something like that in the soil. So maybe I might do a few more kind of spuds in buckets this year, give them a proper test and try and maintain them a little bit better. We've got this kind of no man's land in between the two beds there, but that is where the rhubarb is going to grow, and I'm just going to kind of leave that to its own devices. Probably some nice big squash or courgette in here, give them like loads of space, maybe 3 courgettes. Obviously the tunnel and the greenhouses are going to be full of tomatoes and cucumbers and all that good stuff. This, I think, again, I'm going to do for onions. There wasn't too much onion white rot. I just accidentally killed the seedlings by planting them into this layer of manure instead of the soil underneath. And we're doing a little bit of a test. Fresh horse manure in soil versus just manure top layer, top dressing. And then over here, I'm going to try for a bit more flowers this year. And you might be watching this actually just after the Potty Mouth Garden Club. And there's some expert flower growers on there. So I can see the wind is getting my hair. But there's some expert flower growers on there. So I'm hoping soon we can do like a flower special and I can get some recommendations for nice flowers to grow on the allotment and really up the flower game this year. I've got all the sweet peas in the back garden. I'm going to be doing at some point as well, when I can bring the tools up, this rebuilding of Steve's sweet pea frame. I took some of it when we got the polytunnel, and I did think about putting it in the back garden, but because that was a present for Jess, it felt a bit like I should do my own design, you know, and keep this on the allotment. Thinking and talking about sowing all the new plants has reminded me one of the things I want to do is get some hanging shelves up in here. And this morning I had a little look on YouTube at all kinds of different designs that people have done, but I noticed one recurring theme, which is that generally you use quite lightweight, almost batten sizes of wood, you know. Something like this would probably be okay, sometimes a little bit thicker. Not something like that, that's probably a little bit bigger than I've seen most people use. Normally it's something like this, and you know, with gaps in the middle to keep the actual weight down. And I was thinking maybe I just use some scaffolding boards because I've got a few spare. And by the looks of other people's designs, that might be a bit heavy for the tunnel structure. I mean, scaffolding boards have got a bit of weight to them and they're pretty long. So if you've got any thoughts on that, please do let me know. And any thoughts on P-frames or like the favourite structures of people you've seen on YouTube, please do link me in the comments, let me know I'm all eyes. I'm all eyes for those designs, you know. Oh, I'm feeling great though. It's like, you know, there's it would be easy to get stressed and start thinking about all the jobs that there are to do, but I'm just kind of, I'm feeling like there's still a bit of time. I give myself until kind of March. March is when I really start my seed sowing. And, you know, I could be on it now, but this for me is the time to focus a little bit more on planning, thinking about structures like I've been doing in the back garden. I find it so satisfying. I really do want to get some stuff in place for this year to make it a little bit easier. I think once that greenhouse is redone, once the shed has been rebuilt, once I've got some shelves in here and a hotbed, that's going to be it, isn't it? Oh, and Steve's frame as well. Then surely there won't be anything else to do on the allotment. I'll be done. I'll be finished. Let's go home for a quick update on what's growing there. It's just, like I said, I just wanted to come out today for a quick walk, really, and it's been really nice. I'm going to put a couple of bags of manure on the greenhouse frame as well, just to, you know, just in case. Storm Isha is a little bit more vicious than I'm expecting. It's the back that gets the wind, and I don't think it's likely to go anywhere. Oh, I should show you the frame properly. I'm just going to put a few bits on here just in case. Always better to be safe than sorry. These bags don't look like much for me, they're blooming heavy. I don't want to put the new bags of manure that I've just got on here because they'll get waterlogged probably. I'll forget about them, and when they become waterlogged they're just not as nice. Now for everyone who said, JB, you'll probably get a few more years out of this base, I wouldn't worry too much. Were you expecting it to be this bad when you said that? Or was it just one of those things that didn't look quite as bad on camera as maybe it does in real life? This is just completely gone. It's just like falling apart. Look at this. This is the bit that the frame is actually on as well. This is barely supported. That is just flaking away. So this entire part was well on its way to complete failure. And maybe if it still had a bit of support at that end and kind of this end, it might have been okay. But you know, it might have gone halfway through the growing season. And so I think I've done the right thing here. Although, you know, it is quite painful. The other sleepers are a bit of a mix of conditions. Some of them look better than others, and I might end up reusing some of them. I don't know. I'm going to flip them on their side and put them on bricks. If you've somehow missed me talking about this in like every video for the last forever. But I tell you what, I actually got quite emotional about this, you know. After it was done and sort of towards the end, I just felt really sad, and I still feel that way a little bit, and I'm not completely sure why. It doesn't really make sense. I think it's just, you know, a lot of the time with a project like this, it feels like you're putting in all the effort to have like an exciting new thing at the end of it. Sometimes it's a bit grueling, it's a bit horrible, you don't want to be doing it. But when you're putting up a brand new greenhouse or, you know, doing a tunnel, there's like a really good reason for it. This is just like loads of work to have the same thing. Obviously it's going to be a bit more stable. It's going to be a hell of a lot of work, and I just, like I said, just a bit of remorse that I didn't get it right first time. But we'll get there, it's fine. Anyway, let's actually go home. I said let's go home like 5 minutes ago. One of those videos. Okay folks, we're back. Let me just show you the onions, which have been relegated to the conservatory for a few days to kind of harden up a little bit, because they've been in the office where it's all toasty and lovely with the chili peppers. I didn't want them to go from that cozy, nice environment straight into literally freezing temperatures. It's been kind of -2 even in the greenhouse and the polytunnel, I'm pretty sure. So they're looking pretty healthy, and hopefully we remembered to actually talk about these on Potty Mouth earlier. There's only one germination that didn't come up, and generally these have got kind of 2 or 3, sometimes 4 seeds in, but I'll plant them kind of probably multi-sown in little. If there's a module like this that's just 2, that'll just go straight in the ground. If there's one where there's 3 or 4, I'll split them up a little bit more. One thing I do need to do is sow some spring onions, because this is the Ringeberg and the Red Baron at the back there in the special garland seed tray. If you're a little bit late on your onions, don't worry, there's still plenty of time, so I'll put a link to the onions from Grown Local in the description.
They've done the refund for that burger. Sorry.
I got that so perfect. They are old enough to go out now. It's just that I've not had the kind of window of opportunity. Now the car is back. Jess has just come back from her weekend away, so I can get those out into the greenhouse as soon as possible, or the polytunnel, or somewhere, wherever there's space in cover. They can deal with up to kind of those -1, they'll be fine with. Just that little extra bit of shelter being undercover is really going to help them out. But upstairs in here, this is the heart of the operation. The chilies are looking really good. Jess's are currently hidden under there, her flower seedlings, but let me show you the tomato as well. I spoke about this quite a lot on Potty Mouth, but not actually in the videos, I don't think. This one is my orange accordion, the one of the side shoots that I saved and overwintered, and you can see it's just been on the windowsill. It's got a little bit of growth. I think it really only had 2 or 3 leaves on here when it really started, but they do just kind of sit there quite dormant, grow quite slowly, and unfortunately, I was going to do all of them. I had like a whole tray that were going to just sit on the windowsill, but loads of them got blight. So this is the one survivor. Orange accordion must have a bit of blight resistance. The main event though, the chilies, they're looking really good. They've just started to kind of beef up. A lot of these were, well, these were sown about 15 days ago. So had some really quick germination, and it's a little deceptive. Some of these, like, you know, that one there, that's just two little seedlings. So there's actually, it looks a little beefier, but I'm really happy. We've just starting to get the first little true leaves starting to develop on these. And I think this is about right for the timeline. There's a few which are only just germinating, which are going to be a little behind their brothers and sisters. We've got the Havana Gold back there, which was a bit slow to germinate. That just came up yesterday. The Kangstar Lemon Starburst though, in here, look, 1 seed, 1 chance. And there it is, it did germinate, so that is fantastic. We've got this one that's just come up. I can't remember what that one is, but generally speaking, it's been really good, apart from my own saved seed. My Sugar Rush Stripey in particular just haven't come up at all. Oh, the one that just germinated that I can remember, that's the Sugar Rush Long Peach. Once again, one of my own saved seeds, and I sent a few of my patron seeds, so apologies if yours haven't been coming up. When you're trying to harvest peppers for seeds, you should really wait until they're extra ripe on the plant. And these were just kind of, you know, I harvested them to make sauce and process and had loads of seeds left over, so they're what I sent out, which is why they're not perfect compared to Chili Chump's seed, which has been absolutely like blown away my expectations. Just 99% germination. Down here as well, there's all sorts going on. Oh, this light doesn't like my camera. We've got the sweet peas at the front there, and at the back it's a mixture of lupins, lots of snapdragons just starting to pop up. This one has been really good, the carnations, which Jess has struggled to germinate a lot of these in the past, and then loads and loads of lobelias coming up here. Most of them look pretty good. Some of the carnations did get a little bit leggy, so you can see we've had to rise them all up, so they're really close to the light, and I'm hoping that the sweet peas don't get too leggy as well. Unfortunately, the conservatory is pretty much at capacity, so hopefully this grow light will serve. This is pretty crap. I don't even think it's sold anymore. It was like a Garpson, some kind of cheap Amazon thing. It was about 15-20 quid. Unfortunately, it just doesn't really cut it, and I think these sweet peas are starting to look a little leggy too. I love that this video is going on. It's only like the middle of January, but there's already so much to update you on. And the last thing, the Grown Local microgreen kit. I've got one here, balanced very precariously. Can we open it with one hand? Ta-da! Yeah, we've got a few other seeds in there as well, but I'm gonna get this on the go now. Ta-da! The microgreen kit is well on its way. So simple. I'll link the video where I show you kind of how these work, and really, really cool. Link in the description. Now, it's the day after, and the idea was I was meant to get this out before the storm. I was meant to get it out last night, but various things. I've just finished recording the Potty Mouth, which is why I'm sat here, and after the storm, we've got to go up and have a look and just double check whether or not that greenhouse frame is still attached to that base. I'm a little bit nervous. Right then, let's have a look, shall we? It doesn't look too bad, first impressions. On the way in, the wind was shocking down here yesterday. It was really, really quite bad. But everything in the back garden survived, and the front garden, well, our bin went over and that was about it. It doesn't look too bad, you know. Spin you around. I saw Mark sent us some pictures of his plot. There's loads of sheds there that look fine. And on Mark's there was stuff absolutely everywhere. Sheds sideways, holes in polytunnels. I can just see the frame. It's still there. It's still there, look. Can you see it? It's just there. Oh, very good. Oh, I'm relieved. I'm really just here to make sure it's okay. And of course, obligatory I left our food bin up here, so we've just been using a bucket like some kind of farmer. Just always got to feed the compost, you know. No, I must say it's not looking too bad actually. This structure is gone. That's been on its way for a long time. I can't see a single shed down. There's a greenhouse frame. Thank heavens. It looks like everyone's done okay, actually. There's quite a few people on here who do have those kind of green, like blow-away tunnels, you know. And what they tend to do is just take the covers off in winter and just have the kind of poles as a frame. And it seems to, you know, avoid a lot of problems because those green polytunnels. Oh, we do have a little fence down, look. It's not too bad, is it, when that's the only problem? Plot does just look like a building site at the moment. Oh, my broccoli's looking a bit sad. Oh dear. Oh, you know, I've been pretty lucky. Oh, I did have some comments about the glass. Oh, thank God. Oh no, there's one there down too. Oh my goodness. That is what you call a close call. I had one comment from someone saying, I don't know if leaving it upright in a storm is actually the best idea. And I thought, you know, the prevailing wind is blowing against those, they'll be fine. I'll get them up properly in a second. It suddenly made me a little bit more worried, you know. I saw the frame and I was like, it's fine. I'm just gonna do a quick polytunnel check. This side looks good. Nothing's gone amiss from this bit of the plot. This side's still good. I know, I'll sort out the doors at one point. Oh, that's not good. Oh, the bloody greenhouse door's fallen over. Okay, that one looks okay as well. No massive gaping holes or anything. This thing is half perspex and half glass, and I thought I'd balanced it really well so that it was going to be safe. That panel wants to come out. Oh, that was close. I've been really quite lucky. It's just starting to tip it down. Oh, I cannot believe how lucky I've been. This last one just wasn't balanced very well. I think, no, they're safe. They haven't cracked or anything. And interestingly, like some of the glass is kind of like different gauges almost. The glass for the roof is really thick and really heavy, but the ones for the side are actually a lot less so. So they've not got quite as much weight, and these are just not quite angled enough, I guess. I don't know where this has come from. Bubble wrap. Just tuck that in there. Right, wow. That was a close one, wasn't it? It's coming up to about 5 o'clock now, and I'm just really glad that I can finish work and still do this kind of thing without a head torch. It's not exactly the same as being able to garden after work, but starting to chuck it down. So an extra reminder, seeds in the description, discount link from Grown Local. Do go and check it out. Do a bit of seed organising, you know, it's the time. Thank you so much for watching. An extra special thank you to all of my Chilli Pepper tier patrons, Tony, Bill, Pam, Louise, Mel, Michael, Denise, Socks in the Garden, and Andrew. I can't feel my hands. It's getting cold. It's been really warm with the storm, but not anymore.